Hi everyone, it's Roger here from What's on Disney Plus. It's Sunday. It's time for our weekly live Q&A. So this is a live show that we do each and every Sunday at this time. And our Patreon and our YouTube channel members have been able to send in questions in advance. But also, if you become a YouTube channel member, you can also submit questions through the live chat. So we'll be jumping in and out of you. Matt just answered my question that was coming up next. You can hear me, which is always great. You can also use the super chat function as well, or you can use the gifted membership system. The whole thing works really well. Just a quick note, something I have been made aware of with the live chat, sometimes with some of the chats that come up, I think when they get flagged as green and for members, they don't actually come through on my software. So I've got the little window open. So if that happens, I'm going to be trying to keep an eye on that a little bit more today, because I wasn't aware that that was an issue. Also, just a quick note as well, it is extremely hot here in the UK. I've got a fan next to me, so if you can hear a little bit of buzzing, that's what it is. It's like 28 degrees here, which I think is about 30 odd degrees. It's 7 o'clock at night, very high humidity, and us Brits, we don't have air conditioning, so that's always a bit of an issue. But we've got lots of great questions, so feel free to send them in. And, well, let's just jump into it. See, here we've got a few people in the live chat already. We've got Dana, we've got Bubba Trolling, we've got Muppet Don, we've got Sosuna, we've got Matt. Big hello and welcome to all of you. Right, let's start off at the top, shall we? Let's start off with the top question from Babak. Do you think Disney will also crack down on password sharing like Netflix? So I'd love to hear sort of your thoughts on this. Let us know. Do you think they're going to be doing it? So Netflix has been slowly introducing this program kind of globally. It started off in Latin America last year, trying to get people that are sharing passwords to kind of get prompted into basically not sharing it. So if you keep logging in from different locations, it will keep prompting you. Now, I believe in the US, they've kind of activated it softly in the US, and let's say it was a huge success from Netflix point of view, because they had the biggest amount of signups since like when the pandemic happened. They had a really good week for new signups, because suddenly a lot of people realized they were getting prompted for it. And yeah, now I honestly do think that I think this is going to happen to all of the streaming services. I think the technology is there, that we're going to start seeing it a little bit more. Now, Disney already in some places does have a system in place that if you're logging in from different locations, it happened with my mum, where suddenly she started getting messages for pin codes and stuff, but we were getting we just couldn't log in. So in the end, she ended up getting another subscription because it just couldn't get in. So I don't know if they are doing something, but I think that was just a one-off thing personally. But I think Disney probably is going to end up bringing something like this, and whether or not it goes as hard as Netflix might not necessarily happen. But I think eventually it's going to kick in. Maybe right now it might not be the best time for them to do it. I think it'd be best to do it maybe when they've sorted out the US system. You don't really want to be annoying customers anymore. There's already people are annoyed enough with Disney Plus and everything right now. Don't need to keep adding stuff to it. Let Paramount, because eventually, if all of the other platforms do it, then it's going to become quite standard. And I think, we are going to see more of this. I don't think the streaming services, the whole concept of sharing a password, there was a time of, I might take on a streaming service, my brother takes on another one, and we would share. But that you get to a certain point where, the streaming services don't want you doing that. So it's going to be very tricky to do that one. Yeah, so that's going to be it. But I do think that Disney is eventually going to do it, but I don't think it's going to happen just yet, because Disney Plus is going to need a massive overhaul to introduce this system. And I think they've got another big issue with the overhaul coming up, with the big green monster. But do you think Disney is going to sort of start cracking down on this? I'd love to hear your thoughts on it. As Muppet Don just said there, Netflix used to encourage it. Well, it used to encourage it when it was trying to grow. And that is the key thing. They got to a certain point, they stopped growing, and then they realized that if they got everyone that was actually watching Netflix to pay for Netflix, they'd make a lot more money. But yeah, yeah, I can hear the AC Americans laughing at us. Yeah, it is definitely one of the things here in the UK. We don't have this heat long enough to warrant. I did actually last summer, buy an air conditioning unit, a portable one for the office. but I haven't been working in the office today, so I haven't had it turned on. And yeah, my next door neighbor had some AC put in. I mean, I think it was like £9,000. It was, we just don't have it in here. And this is something that we don't have a lot of. Right. Let's see if we've got questions in here. Matt says, what shows do you think they can ABC from Disney? Oh, here we go. What shows from Disney Plus can you see airing on ABC this fall? Yeah, I would definitely say I wouldn't be at all surprised if Andor or the first season of The Mandalorian maybe goes up in the winter. Maybe more likely, yeah, I could see that happening. Maybe WandaVision, maybe The Falcon and the Winter Soldier, maybe some of the early ones to go on there. I think that might be a way of them kind of filling in the void a bit. I don't think it's gonna be anything new. There's some other shows I probably would have said that would have made sense to, maybe put Willow out there, or you could have put some, but that's all kind of gone now, so we can't do that one. Don't worry, Caleb, it's not a problem. And but if you have to dip, no worries. Let's jump into some other questions here. So Muppet Don says, with the National Geographic releases, why don't they just put all the shows and specials on Disney Plus, Hulu, the Nat Geo, and maybe even ABC in free form, just to try and get as much revenue as possible from what is arguably Disney's at least popular core brand? So we are definitely actually starting to see this with Shark Fest. They pretty much announced that it's going to be on YouTube channels, Hulu, Disney Plus, ESPN's going to get some of it. The linear networks. I think we are going to see a little bit more of this, where they're going to start maybe not treating streaming and television as competition to one another, and more along the lines of they're your customers and you need to get it out there. I think we're going to see National Geographic seems to have slid into this line of trying to share stuff a little bit more. I just wish for all of us internationally and even in the US that they would work out a proper system where we all got it on the same date, because there seems to be a lot of linear issues of I see all the time here in the UK, the show will be on National Geographic, but we will then have to wait months for it on Disney Plus, and it's just really annoying because while I have a Sky subscription and I can watch Netflix, there's been times when I've been thinking about, when my contract's up, I might get rid of it, and it's just annoying with that thing with National Geographic. But that's why National Geographic are being paid to keep them there. Matt says, will we see some more Searchlight pictures on Disney Plus in the US? To be honest with you, I think what's going to happen in the US is we're going to see a little bit more sharing of some of the originals. So that might happen a little bit more to kind of get people moved over. But I also think they are going to want to keep the Hulu stuff so that they can try and get you to upgrade to having the full package. There has to be a reason for you to have the Hulu bundle or the streaming bundle. And I think they're going to end up doing it that way around. So when they eventually add it into Disney Plus in the US, all those Searchlight films will be under the Hulu tab, so that you have to pay more to kind of get access to that, and then they can then at some point then like merge it together. But that might be a year or two away yet. But I'm kind of in that zone now where I'm not expecting a lot of ABC or 20th Century or anything like that to kind of shift over to Disney Plus just in general. I think they're going to need to kind of make it warrant people upgrading to having the Disney bundle, or for people to have the Disney bundle. I think that's what we might see, because there's actually there was a live question there, I think from Suna. Yeah, here we go. So do you think they will add Abbott Elementary on Disney Plus in the US when they merge it and Disney Plus together? Again, what I think, it will be available within Disney Plus, but it's going to be under the Hulu hub, and you will have to have that Hulu subscription to get access to it. They are going to be really trying to kind of make sure that you are subscribed to both, or to the streaming bundle, to get some more money out of you each month. So I'm not expecting a lot of stuff to be shifting over just yet. And also, until Comcast is fully brought out, they might start speeding stuff up after that. But they're going to have to warrant the fact of having that Hulu option in there. So I think that's how we're going to see this one here. Muppet Don said, I expect when the app merger happens, almost all the Hulu originals become Disney Plus Hulu originals. Yeah, I think that will happen when the full merger comes in. But I wouldn't be at all surprised if the originals tab has the like here in the UK. I don't know. I think ours is actually I'll just bring this up. So if I click on the originals tab here, yeah, they don't break it down anymore into like Star and like they just have it all in one. So it might just look like this on Hulu eventually. That's probably what I'd imagine it looks like. It's going to look a little bit different, I think, when they do add in the one app experience in the US. Tim says, any information when Awaju will arrive on Disney Plus? Well, this week is the Annecy Film Festival, Animation Festival in France. So that kicks off. I believe it started. It was supposed to start today, but I think it got pushed back a little bit because of the recent incident in the town. So it starts probably tomorrow. There's a number of things we're going to be hearing about. There's going to be like a presentation at the event on Tuesday. Fortunately, I'm not going to be there. I looked at the price of the hotel zone; it was just ridiculous price. And if I was going to be there, it was going to be miles away, and it was a little bit hit and miss of trying to get there. So that was it. Because I think technically, in terms of mileage, there's not much difference. There's not a huge amount more difference in like trying to get to London or there, but it's just different countries, and I'd have to go into Switzerland and then go into France. Very odd. Right, nevertheless. Kenny said, since Disney is going to be an investor of Apple's Vision Pro AR goggles, will this pay off? When you say an investor, I wouldn't necessarily think they are going to be putting any money into the actual product. I think it's just they are putting money into developing an app for it, which they might. I'm not expecting a lot from this stuff, to be honest. I think this is probably just, and they're probably, I wouldn't be at all surprised if Apple are paying them to be part of it. Like it might actually be, they might make some money out of it. And if so, what does it mean for the entertainment industry going forward? Personally, I think the whole AR, VR goggle thing is one massive gimmick. It's probably going to be great to use. People with a lot of money are going to buy it. They're going to use it for a few weeks, and then it's going to start getting dust, and then it's just going to go in a cupboard, and then it's just going to not happen. If you're going to be sat in an office with VR goggles on, I can't see that happening. I think when you're sat at home on the couch, do you really want to have, it's like, oh, it's going to be like really good 3D and stuff. I just do not think it is comfortable enough that this is going to work. The fact that you can put like glasses in and put your prescription in is great. I mean, that's definitely, but how much is that going to cost? I don't know. I mean, I know like if I'm watching a movie or something, and you got the dogs going or the door goes and I don't know. I just, and that's also the thing as well of, are you going to be able to have your apps coming up? Because maybe, because like this afternoon I watched Air. I don't want to be complete. I'm not, it's like, I don't really, it's not fully engaged. If you're going to be fully engaged in it, maybe, but I just don't think people watch movies in that same way. But yeah, let's do a quick question to all of you. Do you think, let's actually, we'll do a poll. We'll do a quick poll on this one. Would you get Apple VR Pro? I think, is it Apple VR Pro? So, yes. Just realized I could do that because I got that window open. So Muppet Don, the average person will not buy an Apple Vision Pro. It does seem like a waste of Disney's time and money unless they're getting paid to do so. Let's see here what other questions we've got. Ricardo says, do you think the Hulu name will suddenly appear on Disney Plus in other countries like India? Oh yeah. I think that will actually I think that's going to happen. Actually, I think that's going to happen. If you'd said to me like before with India, I thought that they wouldn't do this until they got full control. But the fact that they've done it, and also does that then lead into? But then does that then class as an international rollout? Very tricky. So Sona says, do you think Disney will buy Japanese anime shows on Disney Plus? So they are buying global rights to a number of animation series. They have got rights. They're picking them up for Japan and for the world. It is a niche market, but it's a popular market and it reaches a different audience. And it's been very successful. And I think we are going to see a little bit more of this. But I don't think we're going to have as much because I do believe a lot of the Hulu content, the anime content, comes through Vala Crunchyroll or through Sony, and that deal's maybe coming up to an end soon. And also Disney has said that they're going to be starting to cut back on their licensed content and starting ending contracts. So I would not be at all surprised if Sony start pulling stuff back, or if Hulu start cutting back. But I think there will be a market for anime. I think there will be some. Just to give you an idea of, again, I shall just bring up. We don't need my head that big. Let's have a look here. So if I go into search and I go into Disney Plus, let's see what we've got here. There's an anime collection. I'm just going to try and find it. Genres. So here we got the anime collection. So these are the ones that like Disney has got like globally. There's not a lot, but there is some. So I think we are going to see some stuff, but I don't know if we're going to have as much as Hulu's currently getting right now. I definitely don't think that's happening. Right. Next question. Mamo says, when Disney launches the One App experiences by the end of the year, will they debut Disney Channel and Nat Geo shows on the same way Hulu does with ABC, FX, and Freeform, either in next day or batches? Now, we don't honestly know. It does feel like Disney is slowly getting there with some of this stuff. A lot of the shows are starting to arrive around the same time with the Disney Channel in the US. Internationally, it's still a mess. Like Haley's on It came out on Friday, didn't get it internationally, which is just a pain. National Geographic, we're starting to see a little bit more of this, but they're kind of doing it the opposite way. They then do like a batch drop right at the beginning, so it's all there. I think they're testing and experimenting, seeing what's going on. But I think next day episodes are probably, I think they're probably still going to be a major thing in the US while they've still got linear around. Unfortunately, I think it's a lot simpler if they just have one date. And you go, it's out on this date. Oh, it's available at 7 o'clock on ABC. Because if someone thinks, oh, at 7 o'clock it will be on Disney Plus or Hulu, it will be there anyway. So they won't get this confused because it's there anyway. Muppet Don says, I just finished the Muppets Mayhem and I actually thought it was quite good. The ending sets up a second season. Do you think it will happen? If so, when? Personally, based on I wasn't a big fan of it. I thought it was a bit long-winded. If it's done good numbers, yes. I think they're constantly trying to find the right thing for the Muppets. I think the recent rumor of them, maybe trying to get it in as the rock and roll roller coaster in Walt Disney World, I think that's a cool idea. But I don't know. Is it best just to maybe leave this as done and then move on to doing a more? I think they need more characters and some different stories. I don't know if there's enough in it to kind of do a whole second season. That's my issue with the Muppets. But let me know. Do you think that's going to be how that's going to work out? Okay, so let's see here. What if we've got some other ones? Bubba Trolling says, I feel like Netflix is going to reverse it because they don't have the same power in the streaming wars before. Is that in reference to? I'm not too sure what that's in reference to. Sorry, Bubba. Here we go. We got Bubba Trolling says, do you think David Zaslav cares more about the business or the fans? He cares about the money. Like pretty much I would expect most CEOs do. They care about the money. They care about making money. And if in pleasing fans and getting more money is the best way of doing it, I do honestly, I know we'll get some CEOs going, well, the customers always, comes first and their experience, they want money. Let's be honest. Let's not cut around it. How that happened. Kelly says, I still remember when Nat Geo did Shark Week last year and they had a Little John singing about a shark to the tune of shots. Matt says, I think when Hulu merges with Disney Plus, the rest of the world will get the same releases. I'm hoping that we will start seeing this more. Primarily, if they are putting out a lot less shows, then it might give the dubbing and the subtitle people more chance to get them together. And if there's less confusion over, if they can say, for example, The Only Murders in the Building season 3 is coming on the 8th of, I think it's the 8th of August. I think 8th of August. The advertising is all over the place. So we're getting it all up. But when it can say Hulu on Disney Plus, and if they've already turned everywhere else to Hulu, then it'll be a lot easier for them to do that. Let's see what else we've got here. Oh, I feel like you're meaning about the password sharing. I think that's what you're in reference to, Bubba Trolling, isn't it? I don't think they will. I think that the days of cheap streaming are way over. Ken said, Ricardo, Hulu will show up as a hub in other countries once the Hulu situation is settled and figure out what they want to do with the Hotstar hub. I wouldn't mind if they become the Star hub. I think there is probably a good chance that we're going to have hubs within the hub. I think you're going to have Hulu, and then you're going to have different hubs within there. I think that would make more sense. I think that's a good way of doing it. Ricardo says there's barely any Disney content on Netflix now, at least in the US. Just now appeared an old show, The Mick. You think they will continue collaborating in the future? They will always collaborate for money. They have recently, 20th Century is creating a new comedy, I think, for Netflix. And I think we probably are going to see Disney maybe licensing some old legacy shows, I think, and some old films. It just makes sense. I mean, if you take like a 15, 20-year-old series, how much value is it to Disney Plus Hulu, especially if you can share it? If you can share it with another platform, a free service, Amazon, etc. I wouldn't be going out there and sharing like Desperate Housewives or I would say Modern Family, but things like those kind of shows I wouldn't be doing because they constantly keep bringing people in. But why not? I mean, is the Mick really going to make a lot of difference if it's on Netflix for a couple of months as well? If it brings in a bit of extra cash, I think that's not a bad thing. So yeah, that's definitely it. Let's see how we're doing on the poll. So yes, I can see now we are definitely at a point where 77% of you say no to get that. Oh yeah, so there's a few of you getting it, which that's good. I'm glad. I think it'd be a lot of fun. I'd love to try it. Let's see, where were we? Okay, here we go. Babak says, what will happen to reality shows like The Bachelor and Shark Tank when Hulu merges with Disney Plus? Will they also end up on Hulu? So obviously when they get the one app experience, you should be able to have access to things like The Bachelor and Shark Tank because they will be ABC properties. So you'll be able to view that through Disney Plus. And when they merge, they will still. I think there's this weird idea that like reality TV and like game shows and soap operas and stuff, there's this kind of like this weird thing of everyone kind of looks down on them a little bit and goes, well, because people, maybe younger people don't watch it in the same numbers as older people do, but they still draw massive audiences and they're much cheaper to make. The thing of like reality TV and all the rest of it, these are still big draws and they are still going to be on Disney Plus in the future anyway. The Kardashians right now, that was trending on Disney Plus here in the UK. When I checked on Saturday and I think Friday, it was at the #1 slot here on Disney Plus. It is reality TV and drama and all these. Not everything can be these big mega drama series. Sometimes you just want something easy to put on. So I think we are going to see the stuff like The Bachelor. They're probably not going to see this stuff going internationally the same way because like Shark Tank is called, I believe our version is Dragon's Den, so there's like a version here already, so they wouldn't be allowed to bring it over. I think The Bachelor, I think that one does air over here in the UK. So yeah, there's definitely, we are going to see that stuff on there. It's still going to drive a lot of, look at like Dance Mums in the US. Matt says, what did you think of Flaming Hot? I thought it was a really good film. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great. If you haven't watched it this weekend, give it a go. Nice, just over 90 minutes. Nice, easygoing family film all about a guy who says he invented the Flaming Hot. They're saying he didn't, but I think it's probably maybe more along the lines of they don't want to seem like, I don't know, it just seems a bit odd. But I thought it was great. Mahmoud says, do you think Disney will do a Disney Plus Day this year? And if yes, what day do you think it's going to happen? Right. So I've got two theories on this. One, that Disney Plus Day does not happen. I feel the amount of money that they were spending on content for Disney Plus Days was insane. And when you think of it, they were dropping multiple films, multiple series, multiple stuff all at once. And a lot of that stuff got absolutely buried. I think, was it last year's was kind of fun because I was out in Disneyland for the day and it was great. We were given these hats. I met with James for the first time. We had the hats on, we were doing all the bits and pieces, we had pins and all the rest of it. It was great. And on that day, they released, I think it was, what was it? It was Fall of Thunder. We had Pinocchio movie. We had a whole host of Epic Adventures with Birdie Gregory. We had think there was something with Brie Larson. I don't know if they're going to do that the same way, because I don't think they can afford to spend that much money on it. And I don't think that's going to be how it goes. I just don't think so. So I'm going to ask you, do you think we are gonna get a Disney Plus day? Yes or no? It was 70% on that on VR Pro, so that shows about. So let's see what you guys think. So that's theory number one, that we aren't going to get it. My other theory is they're going to do Disney Plus Day on the One App Experience launch day. That is going to be this year's Disney Plus Day, where they can say, look at all this great new stuff that's going to be available. You've got ESPN in here, and you've got Hulu, and you can get the Disney bundle, and here's a brand new film, and here's a brand new series. Look at all this amazing stuff you can get on Disney Plus in the US. And the rest of the world just looks at it and goes, yeah, we've had that for years. So and if that's happening, I don't know if we're going to get the One App Experience either in September, or if they're going to wait right through to like December again. So I think those are my two theories. It's either not going to happen because it's too expensive, or B, it's going to happen on the launch of Hulu stuff. So I feel like that's the two ways it could go, rather than them spending a load of money on creating maybe the day of Echo, maybe the Echo day that they've got put in. Maybe that is the Disney Plus day. Maybe that's what they might do. Just as a random thought that I've just had. But yeah, let me know what you think of that one. So at the minute, we are currently sitting at 23 votes. Most of you think we're going to get it, but there's still some of you saying no. Tim says, when will we see Star Wars Skeleton Crew come to Disney Plus? I'm guessing December. That would be my guess. That'll be my guess of when that's coming in. And a big thank you to Uniloud Studios. Thank you very much for becoming a member. Thank you so much for that. Thank you for your support. Dana says Disney Plus Day would be when they drop all the One App Experience. I think that would make sense. Matt says that makes sense as well. Kelly says, I feel they're going to skip Disney Plus Day and do a Disney Bundle Day once they launch the One App Experience. Yeah, they might do. I feel like the trouble is Disney Plus Day, it'll be interesting to see how many more did they get a lot of subscribers? Did they help? I don't think it helped last year doing it on D23 weekend. I feel like it kind of got lost in the, and a lot of people were like looking for presentations and trailers and all this kind of stuff, which they were holding for the D23 Expo. And I think fan expectations are like, they're expecting 15 Star Wars shows and 15 Marvel shows to be revealed, and announcements every 5 seconds. And it's like, that's not sustainable. That's just not sustainable how they can keep that going. Reality TV is a money cow. 100% agree with you on that one, Bubba Trolling. It is 100%. Yeah, I think that's definitely how it is. Shark Tank is technically owned by MGM and Amazon. Also, they rerun airs on CNBC, so they could leave ABC for another if the price is right. Higher or lower? Right, let's see. Let's just do some live questions. Let's see what we've got here. So just trying to see if I can go back and find some. Matt says, I think when Hulu merged, we'll get same day releases, hopefully. We did that one. We did that one already. Yes, Caleb, you did inspire a poll. I'm quite happy with it. It's interesting because it's not in my streaming software, so because I've got this little pop-up, I can see it a little bit quicker. Let's see. Right, here we go. So Caleb says, I know Disney has the US distribution rights to the Yu-Gi-Oh! 7 series. Hulu also has almost every Yu-Gi-Oh! Series. I've never watched it. I've been reading a little bit about the card game recently. But yeah, I mean, it depends on. I have a feeling that Disney are going to do a massive cull of spending out money on other people's licensing content. I think that's where they're going to be. They can really cut their budget a lot, and without looking like they can cut their forecasts for how much they're spending on Hulu a lot by getting rid of stuff. So I think that's what we're going to start seeing a lot more of. Matt says, when is the next wave of shows when you're moving from Disney Plus? So they did say it's going to be at the end of this quarter, which is the end of this month. We don't yet know. If we're going to start finding out, we're probably going to start. We're going to probably get the upcoming lists of what's coming up on Disney Plus and Hulu later in the week. So if there's going to be anything going from Hulu, that might be the way they do it. So Suna says, when do you think the second season of Wonder Years will be on Disney Plus? So I think it starts this month on ABC. I mean, if I was them, I'd just roll out it on Disney Plus at the same time and Hulu, and just kind of, because it's already on Disney Plus and it's a nice family, easygoing show. But I wouldn't be at all surprised if they just hold off until the series has fully happened. Okay, let's see where else we've got. So we've got a few. So what we're going to do, we're going to the last few questions on the pre-done ones, and then we'll carry on with the live ones for the rest of the show. So Dan says, do you think Disney should or could have put all the removed programming that belongs to them on Movies Anywhere to maybe recoup some money? Well, I think this is where the issue. I think if by the way I've been reading it, if Disney put for example, so let's say like Willow. Let's say they put Willow out on Movie Times Anywhere, or they sell it onto Netflix to run it. Any money they make from that comes off of the money they can reclaim on it. So unless the money they can claim, unless they can make more money selling it than like taxing it, writing it off, there is a bit of. I think that's one of the issues that is. And I think because they're dealing with a lot of it, it might have just been simpler just to literally write this money off the books as fast as possible. So putting something onto Movies Anywhere also would mean that they still have to they'd have to pay the people that created it, but also they'll be there for. I feel like the reason they've been able to get rid of these shows is because they're generally not available to buy. They've been able to kind of circumvent a few different things. But I don't think it's necessarily about them trying to recoup money. It's the fact that they've been able to write it off and therefore instantly been able to get a load of money back from the tax from it. So that's definitely an interesting thing on that one. Mahmoud says, do you think Disney will sort out what's happening in Latin America with the Disney Plus Star before the launch of the One App experience in the US, or after the Disney Plus Hulu merge? I think once the Hulu situation in the US is either the One App experience or been brought out, I think we're much more like the likelihood of Star Plus and Disney Plus in Latin America merging is much higher once the US does it. Because to me, once the US does it, they've then set the biggest country in the world for them in terms of how much money they make is then doing what the rest of the world is, and then I think it will be more simpler for them to have the one platform. Whether or not ESPN Plus, whether or not it becomes ESPN Plus for the sports, and then they do that as an add-on, I think that's much more likely. But I actually think Star Plus is almost maybe the test bed for the new version. I think they've been doing a lot of testing on it. So there's a lot of stuff on that one. Anyway, Caleb, thank you very much. No worries. I shall get in. You can obviously rewatch it, and I'll answer your questions as we go along. Gavin says, is the new Walking Dead City coming to Disney Plus in the UK? Many sites seem to assume that is the case. Yeah. So there was a report this week. Somebody put up on the internet that they asked AMC when the Walking Dead City will be on, where will it be in the UK? And they got an email back from support saying it was on Disney Plus here in the UK and Stan in Australia. And the thing is, that just came from an image of an email. And there's a couple of things with that. First off, help desks can be wrong. Disney Plus one's been notoriously bad for giving out false information. I also worked on the help desk for 4 years, so I know, they don't, there's the thing that they will try, a lot of them will try their best, but they don't always know everything. And we have seen with a number of different streaming services that they end up giving out the wrong information. So there's that, albeit it's correct. But the fact that it's only happening, I believe it's a week tomorrow, means there's not a lot of publicity that they've really kind of been getting into this one. There's no big event. There's no big trailers, nothing like that. Now, I did reach out to Disney, and I was told that it's not on a schedule. It's not. They've not scheduled it. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean that that's not happening, because maybe this got out before a press release or whatever. That is kind of common. Sometimes you ask for confirmation, they won't give it to you because maybe they've got a big plan to announce it. So it could happen, and I hope it does, because it would be really cool, because I really want to watch it. But as far as I'm aware at the minute, I have been told by Disney that it's not. So, but you know, I'm still a little bit of a pinch of salt because they could easily announce it tomorrow. So it, yeah. So that's why, so that's why I haven't covered it. Connor says, what do you think of streaming services now sponsoring football clubs? Paramount Plus sponsored Inter Milan in last night's Champions League final. Well, I mean, I think it makes a lot of sense, especially, I mean, I think sports is on, if sports is on or football is on Paramount Plus in Italy, that's good. A good extra way of getting in front of new eyeballs, different audience. Personally, I think spending money on advertising there could be spent on other things. You've got to spend money to advertise. You can do it as a tax deductible, all the rest of it. Just looks a little bit bad if you're laying people off and doing things if you spend, but you know, they still spend money on advertising. I don't have a massive problem with it. As I did say to you, because he did message me about this, and also Connor asked, he actually sent me a message as well about The Walking Dead this week. It would make more sense for me for like Disney Plus to sponsor Wrexham, but United got in there and they had a nice little play on the idea of it calling Wrexham United this past week. Okay, so let's have a look now. I've got 4 more questions on the pre-done ones, but we'll just jump back into the live chat. Matt says, did you see them make a new Sandlot movie? I don't know. Sandlot movies, they like yo-yos on Disney Plus in the US. They come and go. Personally, just let it go. I don't understand it. I don't get it. Matt says, can't wait for Home Improvement to arrive on Disney Plus. Yeah, that should be good. I'm going to watch an episode and see how badly it's aged, because I used to watch it years ago. I haven't watched it in probably 20 plus years, but I did like watching it every day. Uniloud Studio says, hey Roger, what happened to the Indiana Jones movies? Will be removed or stay on Paramount Plus? I'd expect them to stay because I think it's a shared deal here in the UK. For example, the Indiana Jones movies are on Sky, which is, you know, Paramount and like Disney's, Paramount and Comcast kind of channel. Yeah, I don't think it's exclusive, so I think this one's more shared. So Suna says, do you think they'll add a leaving soon section and add a like and dislike button on Disney Plus? I don't think they'll do a like and dislike button. I don't think that helps them at all, because all it leads to is review bombing. You see, you know, that's why YouTube and stuff, it's dislike stuff. People, the internet just kind of can't handle it. So so that's why they, you know, most of them probably won't have that anymore. As far as a leaving soon, I think they are probably going to have to do that when they do the one app experience. I think there'll be more stuff leaving because of Hulu. Kelly says, ESPN Plus will be available on Disney Plus via the one app experience. However, separate subscriptions will be needed since ESPN is eventually going to be DTC. Also, if they included ESPN Plus in our Disney Plus subscription, that price will have to basically probably triple in a year or two. We'll probably be paying, like, if they include ESPN, you're going to be looking at probably around about $25 to $30 eventually, because ESPN Plus, I think it's like $9.99 a month at the minute. That is going to keep going up, especially if it becomes their main income source. That sports is really going to get high. That's in relation to Bubba trolling. So I think ESPN Plus will probably become a separate paid add-on inside of the one app experience, which is just a fact. I think the trouble is the reason why they called it like this one app experience is because I don't think they didn't want the idea that it's merging. It's not merging. It's kind of going to be available. I think because he said it like that, and then later when he was going through all the Q&As and stuff afterwards, it was very much, it's all going into Disney Plus. So because some people were saying, well, there's going to be a new app. It's like, no, it's not a new app. It's just that it's just the way they were talking about it. So Suna says, do you think Disney will buy Paramount? No, I don't think Disney are not in a position financially to be able to buy them. Kelly says, I do believe Hulu is going to terminate a large number of third contract party. WWE will probably be given more time due to the Bianca Montez series coming to Hulu. Disney Plus International. I hope so. I want to see that show. But yeah, I think anything that's coming up for renewal, anything like that, is probably less likely to get picked up, because I don't think they want to be spending money on it And with Hulu and Disney Plus together, they don't need as much content from other parties. Unilag says, what happened? Disney Plus getting password crackdown, get paid outside household, just like they've not announced anything, but I think it's definitely probably going to end up coming at some point. Let's see what else here we've got. Ricardo says, because Avatar The Shape of Water premiered on 2022 in the US simultaneous, that was the last film. Yeah, so that was the last film that was under that deal. Right. Let's carry on with the last few questions that we've got on the pre-done questions. Daniel says, when Hulu is accessible through Disney Plus in the US, what will happen to films that are on both? Will we just see 2 copies if we search for a particular movie? You're probably in Disney Plus just see you're only going to see the one movie, because I think what they're going to end up doing is, because not everything on Hulu is going to be available within Disney Plus. That's going to be their key way, because there's probably going to be some licensed stuff or maybe some things that they don't want on there anymore. So say like Modern Fam, anything that's like on Disney Plus internationally, I would say is a shoe-in to be on there. But anything that is like maybe third party might not necessarily be available within Disney Plus. They have said that. Tim Jones says, when will we see Descendants: The Rise of Red come to Disney Plus? They've been filming it over the winter. We've seen some pictures like with Brandy. Maybe the fall. I mean, or they might hold on till Valentine's. That might be maybe a good time to drop it, because they do seem to like dropping movies around the holidays. Muppet Don says, will the full Monty series be a batch drop or weekly in the UK? And do you think it's a good idea to be batch dropping Echo? So yeah, the full Monty series will be dropping onto Disney Plus internationally, Star Plus in Latin America, and Hulu in the United States on Wednesdays. You get all 8 episodes. Really good series. Very, I would say it's political in the fact of there's a lot of interesting stories about like UK, about right now, immigration. You've also got healthcare, policing, schools, mental health, sort of eating, not having enough money to eat. There's a number of and when I say political, it's not really, I mean, there's a lot of jabs at like prime ministers and stuff at the beginning, but generally it's more just like a social commentary of what's going on right now. I really enjoyed it, and I wasn't a big fan of the film. There's there's no strip teasing or anything like that. They kind of went away from that. It's just really just taking the characters from like 25 years ago and seeing where they are now. It's a really good series. I binged the whole lot on, I think it was Thursday. I watched the whole series all at once in one go. I probably would have liked to stretch it out, but I didn't allow myself enough time, so I kind of binged it. Final pre-done question, and then we're going to be live for the last 10-15 minutes. Connor says, I've just seen that AMC content is set to disappear from Hulu in a fortnight. Is this the start of the next great purge? Well, I would look at this in a couple of different ways. First off, Hulu will quite often put up things that are up for expiry, and they don't actually leave. They end up renewing them. But at the last quarterly results, or in the recent SEC filing, Disney did state that they are going to be ending licensing on a number of contracts to save money. So if this might be, if something's coming up for renewal, this might be one of those things of, we don't think these are getting enough views. We don't want to pay you for this. We want to offer a platform when it expires, and we're not going to renew it. If the date was coming up and you were going to not renew it, it would make sense for you not to renew it, not have to pay any money out or anything like that. So now, whether or not it's do you consider licensed content as a purge? I don't necessarily think of it as a purge, because that stuff was scheduled to leave. I feel like removing originals that we didn't know were leaving, that didn't have an end date, and are being deleted forever. Because at least with the AMC content, it could go to AMC Plus, or they could sell. I think AMC are going to end up they're going to try the bundle for a bit, and then they're going to end up selling stuff. But yeah, I think we are going to start seeing a lot of licensed content. It'd be interesting to see what happens with this, leaving stuff over the next few months, because I think it's going to take a while. Right, now let's jump into some live questions. So we're just on the live questions now. We'll probably do about another 10 minutes or so, as long as you guys keep sending in questions. Okay. So Muppet Don says, do you think it's a bad idea dropping, or do you think it's a good idea dropping Echo or in a batch drop? My pure gut reaction to that was, You're dropping a whole Marvel series at once, instantly. And it's horrible to say this because, I just said that Full Monty is a really great show. But when you drop a whole series at once, it kind of feels a little bit like, especially with Marvel, we've been doing the weekly thing, and they literally made a big point of the fact that, Loki's going weekly. It's like, is this show not good enough to draw the audience in? Do they feel like if they drop it all at once, the minutes are going to be high enough that it will do well to begin with, and therefore it will be a success? I don't know. It seems a very expensive test, or maybe there's less episodes. Maybe they've done that. It does seem to be really weird. But then, if maybe that is the day that maybe that's going to be Disney Plus Day, and that's how they're going to get around it. So last one. Uniloud says, when new Spider-Man movies coming to Disney Plus except Spider-Verse? It depends. Every country with the Spider-Man movies has different systems in place. So it depends on the contracts of each country of where they are. I don't think it's an exclusive deal, but also some countries have, like here in the UK, pretty much nearly all the Spider-Man movies are gone now. They're all on Sky. Like if I look here now on UK, we've literally here in the UK now, we've only got Far From Home. Everything else is on Sky. And we had them all for a while, but they all went. So we're going to see a little bit. So I until we know what the ones that they haven't got in the US, when they expire, where they arrive. The new Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse, what will happen with this one is it will do its cinema run, and then it's going to go to Netflix in the US for about 18 months, and then it will come to Disney Plus for its Pay 2 window. So it will come to the United States. That's going to be a great, interesting thing to see what starts happening with that, with films like Uncharted and some of the Sony movies. If we start seeing them dropping onto the one app experience, whether or not they put them on Disney Plus or whatever, that's going to be interesting to see how all this comes together. As Muppet John says, with the writer's strike, it does seem like a bad decision to drop Echo all at once. I don't get it. So Suna says, what shows would we start seeing soon on Disney Plus in the US if you had to go into a UK Disney Plus? What shows would we start seeing? Okay, so let's give you a little bit of a tour. So this just might give you a little bit of an insight of. So if you notice this, so this is the UK Disney Plus. So as you can see, we have the little hub here. It all looks very, but you can really start seeing here how everything is interconnected. We've got the Kardashians here, the Clearing, Saint X, and then at the minute they're pushing a lot of science fiction movies on us. Show us what we're watching. Did watch an episode of Not Dead Yet Dead this afternoon, so you can see what I've been watching this week. I did manage to finish Big Sky. So you can see here like some of the things like that are on here. And this kind of just gives you an idea of what I think we're going to end up seeing more of, because I don't think it's going to be a huge difference. I think that's going to be the key thing. But, we are going to start seeing more of this happening, I think, because it's all going to eventually be one big platform anyway. Let's see what other questions we've got here. I'm just going to have a quick look at the poll. So at the minute, 43 votes. 74% of you think we are going to get a Disney Plus Day. So that's a lot of you think it is. I wouldn't be at all surprised, but I just don't think it's going to be on the same level that it was before. What is the next Searchlight Pictures film for Disney Plus? So we don't really know what the next one's going to be. Chevalier is dropping on to Disney Plus in the US. In Canada. I think on the 16th, it's dropping onto Hulu, I think the same day. So that one, they're obviously not doing the dual release for. I would expect also with a lot of the Searchlight Pictures films from now on, they're going to end up getting, ending up coming on to, I think they're going to go to cinemas first. I think we're going to see a lot less films going straight to Disney Plus anyway. There's going to be no Searchlight Pictures going to Max anymore. That's completely done. Okay, let's see what we've got. Muppet Don says, why have they shrunk the coming soon section? The coming soon section just shrinks because Disney aren't very good at putting the coming soon pages in place. They announce all these stuff that's coming, but they don't really do a very good job of putting the the landing pages in. They'll do it for some of them, but most of them they don't do it for. So they sometimes get to a point where they remove the coming soon section because they actually haven't got any more in there. Lady Jennifer Snow says, I don't think enough will happen in Echo for it to be week to week. Marvel needed to get it out, and I feel the batch drop was the best solution. Yeah, you might be right. It depends. If it's not good enough or if there's not enough in it, maybe they just want it kind of in and out and get people move on to it. But it does feel a little weird. It does feel a little bit weird for that. Right, I think that is... Right, Muppet says, if Disney are going to buy anything soon, it will more likely be a franchises rather than studios. I don't think they're going to buy anything. I honestly don't think they are going to buy anything because they need money, and they've got to buy out. If they've got to buy out Comcast stake in Hulu, that is a lot of money, billions of dollars that they've got to spend out on, and they've just got to try and get themselves back into profit and start making money again. Mapadon says it used to be 2 tiles high, but now it's just 1. I don't think the coming soon section's ever been two coming. Oh, I see what you mean. So what you're meaning is, so the size of like these ones here, the extra large size, they kind of move them around a little bit here and there. They don't tend. I mean, I wish they used them a little bit more because they barely use them, which is a little bit of a pain. It's definitely a little bit of a pain. Thank you very much, Lady Jennifer Snow, for the super chat. Thank you so much. Really appreciate your continued support. That is fantastic. Thank you so much. It really, really, really means a lot. Jonathan, so do you think Secret Invasion will have a second series? Depends on how Secret Invasion 1 does. But also the thing is with Secret Invasion, it might set up other things that's happening in other shows. But one of the great things about Marvel is they can give them other names. And I actually think it works best for Marvel, where using volume or using seasons, it's like, say, like Loki coming up. Rather than being called Loki Season 2, they could have called it Loki / and then give it a secondary name like Loki Quantumania, that kind of thing. So I think with Marvel, and I don't think they need the season thing because they can just carry on the character and give it something else. So I think... But I hope so, because I mean, it looks pretty good. I'm looking forward to watching it. And they put out that 5-minute clip the other day, and I'm like, I don't want to watch it. I want to watch the whole lot at once. You need to out if Apple buys Disney. Can't see it happening. I cannot see. I don't think that the board of directors would allow for it to happen. But also, I think it would be a regulatory nightmare to try and get that through in different countries, because there's a lot of countries are getting very skeptical of some of these big mergers. They feel like they're getting too powerful. And I think Disney and Apple would be very, very difficult. While they're not necessarily in the same hemisphere for some of the content, tech, it'd be a very powerful company. And I think governments would have a major problem with doing it. Plus, Disney's would be it's a big investment. And does Apple need Disney? I don't know. Matt says, "What collection do you want to see them add to Disney Plus?" Okay, let's just bring up the collections here. The first one that comes to mind is actually not necessarily one collection, but lots of collections. I would love them to do a decades collection. I'd like them to break down and do maybe the 1920s, the 1930s, the 1940s, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s, do all that. So I'd like that to be done to make it a little bit easier. I would like to do just more genres, more characters, more just a way of just breaking stuff up. I'd love there to be in there. I don't know necessarily needs to be a collection or a hub. We need an FX, a 20th century, a Searchlight Pictures. Maybe also some actors or director collections. So, you start putting together a Harrison Ford collection. So in there you've got all the Indiana Jones films and all the Star Wars films and things like that in there. Maybe that would be that. There's so much more stuff they could be doing. It just seems very light on just navigation. Thank you to Marvy V for your super chat. Thank you so much for the sticker. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. In the Disney Hub, there is a decades breakdown in the Disney Hub, is there? And this is where that thing of I don't go in the Disney Hub very often. I go in the Star Hub all the time. Let's have a look. Music to our ears. Shorts. It's from screen to stage. Vintage Disney. I can't see it. Maybe it's different in the US or in your country. It might be a little bit different. But I can't see a Decades one, which is a shame. Let's just do a search in the Disney section one. Have they got one? Can't see anything. Am I going blind? I can't see anything. No. Maybe in your country, but I'm just looking here. Can't see it. Gary says Children of the Sea just arrived on Disney Plus in Hong Kong yesterday, and with any English. Still plan to watch it in the next few days. Gonna hear Joe's musical score. No English. Well, that's not so good. That's not so good. Muppet Dancers at least not been here for 6 months. My VCO code, the X showcase ended for Xbox. Now I'm here. Well, welcome. I did see that they just put out a new trailer just before we went live for a new Star Wars game. So I will be going through the videos of the Xbox showcase. You know what? I completely forgot it would have been E3 this week. Because normally I used to watch the presentations, but yeah, I totally forgot that was on. Okay, so Uniloud says the world according to Jeff Goldblum got cancelled. Yes. Not only did it get cancelled, it got deleted. Yeah, Loki Kang takeover. I don't think they're going to be using that name. Joe's music scores on the Studio Ghibli movies is just exquisite. I need to watch more of them. It's kind of weird. I've been feeling lately of like I need to watch more anime. I need to like broaden my horizons a little bit to try and watch stuff. Yeah, definitely need to do that one. What Marvel special do you think they'll have for Halloween? I don't think we will this year. I don't think we'll get because there's maybe I think they're filming one. They were maybe filming one for Coven of Chaos. I don't think they're going to get it because I think we'll be still getting Loki at the time, and we'll just be like a week or two away from the Marvels. So I don't think we'll get one. Oh, and they're also Avatar. Unisoft is also working on a new Avatar game. That should be cool. I've been waiting for that for a long time. Right. Okay, so I think that's probably a good time to end it. So again, a huge thank you to everybody here in the live chat. Really great seeing everyone's comments. So let's just have a quick look at the poll. 54 votes, 78% of people said that they think there will be a Disney Plus Day this year. And also, final one there. Gary says, I heard Jenny from Blackpink is joining the MCU. I think that would be a good idea. I think could get some good, get a different audience in on it. I think that's good. And if she's good enough actress, give it a go. And my VCR still works says, sad that we're not going to get Prop Culture season 2. That was a really good show. Such a shame. Muppet said, I think they should not do Christmas Halloween specials as it restricts when you can watch it. I think it kind of works with a holiday special. I think that works, but I think they should flip them between each season. She's going to put, Luna Snow. She's going to play some character. So Luna Snow, she was actually a character that was introduced in the mobile video game. I think it was it Marvel Future Fight? If I remember rightly. I remember the press release from you. So that was a character that was specifically created for the game. And I think they've ended up taking it into comic books and other stuff. So yeah, so I at least knew who that one was. Right. On that note, guys, thank you very much. I'll be back next week with another live Q&A. Keep an eye out for the posts on the community tab and on Patreon for your questions during the week. That will be going up later in the week. Make sure you check us out on whatsondisneyplus.com. You can find us on Facebook. Join our Facebook group. We've got over 226,000 members, so feel free to join in with the chat there. Also, we've got the weekly videos that go up now. It seems to be working pretty well with lots of different stories. It's also on podcast formats as well. But a big thank you to everyone. So a big hello and thank you to Muppet Don. We've also got Uni Loud, Gary. We've also got My VCR Still Works, Matt, Gary. Big thank you again to Marvy V and also Lady Jennifer Snow for your super chats. Big hello to Jonathan. And on that note, guys, thank you very much. And I shall see you guys soon. Laters.